p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am your host, Trinity, and thank you all so much for being here. Now, if this is your time here, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell, and all of that good stuff. I've got a Hydra agent hiding out right in the corner over here, telling me that I've got to tell you that. So please help keep Hydra from invading our space here, and make sure you give us a like here, or give us a thumbs in to the live chats as I go over some of the topics that I want to just talk about for the evening. Sometimes those range in various things, from talking about things that have happened throughout the week, as far as as far as different fandoms, movie trailers, movies I've seen, and different things like that, to things like leadership and success and just different things like that. I don't know. Sometimes I just get to flapping my gums about a whole bunch of different stuff. And once again, thank you all so much for tuning in here for the Trailer Park Live. You guys being here for these live shows and interacting with me is kind of what makes the shows what they are, and helps keep me going. It keeps me motivated, keeps me on my toes, and thank you all so much for being here. Now, just as I do every single week, we're going to get into some comic book talk. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is The Amazing Mary Jane. I went ahead and I did go ahead and pick up this issue at my local comic book shop. I did a review of this already on New Comic Book Day. You should go and check that out. Now, I went ahead and picked this up because, one, I mean, that's just a beautiful cover. Two is, I realized, I want to take and really look at this book again, and maybe bring a more in-depth review, because in case you guys haven't seen any of my videos here, the writer that wrote this book here is Leah Williams, and I'm not a particular fan of hers. I've went out of my way and read a bunch of and then I can't remember what else she did. Giant Man, which was where she kind of really got on my radar, which was a little 3-issue miniseries that started during the War of the Realms event recently in Marvel Comics, not too long ago, just some months ago. So I went ahead and I did a review of this, and after sleeping on it and after thinking about it a little more, I went ahead and I wanted to pick this up because, you know what, like I said, I want to deep dive into it just a little bit more here in the near future, because I haven't been a particular fan of Leah Williams' work, and I found that this issue is actually okay for what it is, and I think it's probably her best work to date that I've actually that I've actually read. And you know what, I'm like, maybe she's making a turn. Maybe something has happened, and she's kind of, I don't know, maybe she's made a change, and hopefully we can get more of this. Now, I do, maybe this was just like the right calling for her, I don't know, maybe it was just the right character at the right time. Now don't get me wrong, this story that goes on here is, which she did this just really great knockout performance recently in a couple issues back, where there a lot of the female villains were trying to take over, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, to say the least. And then she's going off to Hollywood. That's what's going on in this book. She goes off to Hollywood, and she's in L.A., not with Peter Parker. And, we can see that they're kind of having adjusting to a long-distance relationship, and she's there on set. And there's just some peculiar things happening. So she decides to look into them a little more. She goes to confront the director, who ends up taking off away from her. And turns out it's actually one of Spider-Man's just like oldest villains and oldest arch enemies. And she kind of makes some demands, or they're gonna go ahead and work together. Like, she's gonna go ahead and work with this villain to go ahead and finish this movie production out, even though this movie production is kind of, in a way, how would you say, maybe slandering her significant other. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting, as this movie is kind of, making this bad guy look good. And it's kind of funny, because that's kind of, just, we see some of that kind of going on in our real world these days. But some of the things that go on here is a little bit silly. But altogether, I gotta say, like I said, I wanted to dive into this one a little bit more, because, like I said, I haven't been a big fan of Leah Williams' work. And when I see something like this, I'm like, it's really not too bad, considering all I've seen out of work. Maybe she's made a turn and made an improvement, and I hope to see more of that. And that's why I go out and, I look at somebody like Leah Williams, and I pay particular attention to the books that she writes. I've gone to my local comic book shop and just, read other books that she has written to do reviews on those, to see, like, is it just me? Is it her? I think maybe this book, this particular title, just happens to be a good calling for. So, hey, I've got to say, maybe we're onto something good here. Now, of course, this book isn't for everybody. Not everybody's going to like it. And, hey, I get that, and that's all fine and dandy, different strokes for different folks is what I say, Now, the next one I want to talk about here is this one right here. And this one right here, I did, like I said, my local comic book shop is so awesome. You guys should go check them out. That's Bases Cards and Comics right here in Lancaster, California. Go on Instagram, go on Facebook, follow them, find them. That's at Bases. It's a $9.99 book, but you can see that's pretty. It's a pretty thick book. Had them all put together like a piece of a Spider-Man story. Like one of them started it off, and the other is a little silly. It's definitely not for me, but I got to do this review that I will have coming out here very soon. Altogether, it's not too bad. You know, and you guys know I'm a huge Spider-Man fan here, but this one, Jonathan Hickman, Jonathan Hickman, Jerry Dugan, Nick Spencer, Kelly Thompson, Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky, Jason Aaron. And they've got some great artists in here as well. Chris Body's story. And I'm telling you, that's just beautiful work. And this is basically what you got out of this, basically like this ship. He was just put like in the stasis tube. Nick Fury is breaking him out, telling him, hey, something's going on. We got to put a stop to this. So they end up going to like Ferret Land, which is kind of like a Disney World kind of thing. And apparently it's actually been taken over by Hydra agents. People are turning into werewolves. It's going crazy. People are attacking. They're trying to stop the people who are innocent people. But, because the werewolves, they're just like innocent people. They just turn into werewolves through this virus or whatnot. And it's a pretty silly story. I mean, we get guest appearances here. Like I said, we get Nick Fury. We get Wolverine in here. Spider-Ham. Different versions of Spider-Ham even. And just a whole bunch of, Aunt May's in there, at her birthday party. Mary Jane is there. Just a whole bunch of different things going on here in this book. Altogether, it was silly. It was, like a nice thick issue number 1. This is a new series being put out by Vault Comics. And you guys know me, man. I've really taken a like to what Vault Comics has been doing. They are a small print publisher, and what they're creating is they're putting out a lot of creator-owned and titles and things like that, and it's really great work what they're doing over there. And this particular cover is an homage to Fantastic Four number 220 by John Byrne, and they went ahead and did that there for this one. And I was thinking maybe depending on how I like this book, I might do a giveaway on it. If they have a copy left at my local comic book shop, maybe next week during my comic book pull list, maybe I'll give a copy of this away. And this book was actually, it was pretty funny. What happens is we see, the kind of opening of it is the book opens up kind of at present time where we're at, and then we're shot back in time to exactly how these characters all ended up in this situation. And what they were is they were a bunch of scientists who were sitting around having to ask for grant money, and they were having, this one of the lead characters here is having to draw up this big old, huge long draft page, this big old thing to ask, a bunch of paperwork asking them why they need this grant money and what they're going to put it towards and things like that. And basically they kind of have like this ship that they want to use to go explore stuff in space, as Earth had just basically been taken off the list of places that aliens, like more intelligent life forms, wanted to interact with. They basically said, no, we're not messing with these humans, man. These people is MFing crazy, right? These people is motherfucking crazy, and they're stupid. Look at these fucking human beings. So they said, nope. So they took off, and the humans, were like, well, and all these scientists, are having trouble getting funded at this point, because, basically all the people who are funding them like, hey, what are we giving you this money for if nothing's coming out of it? So they decide to kind of switch things up a little bit to get grant money for it. They decide to go ahead and they look into crowdfunding, and they're looking for private investors, people who want to invest in this thing to get this ship off the ground that they call this, and this particular, I can't even remember what is the name of this ship. Where is it at? They call this ship something here. I can't even remember what they call it. They call her Money Shot is what they're saying. They're calling this ship. But but basically what happens is these scientists are going out. What they're ending up doing is they're going to crowdfund this thing by going out and doing experiments with higher life forms, with aliens. They're going to have sex with them, and they're going to live stream it. And that's kind of where the book opens up. And then, we get and learn about these characters, learn their real names, and how then they come up with their how would you say, their porn names and stuff like that. And I don't know, altogether, it was a pretty funny first issue. This book is probably definitely not for everybody, But I thought it was really good. Again, it was on Vault Comics. This is a company that's been around since 2016, has been putting together, I would say they've put together quite a catalog of titles out of everything that I've read out of them. Definitely a quality small print publisher, one I think you guys should go check out. Again, that's Vault Comics, and this issue again is Money Shot. And like I said here, I'll show you like this book was pretty funny. Right here it says, in 2027, an advanced alien civilization made contact, and the people of Earth discovered they were not alone. An offer to join the civilized universe was made, but then the aliens saw what a total shit show Earth was. Engaged in hundreds of wars led by greedy politicians and fumbling to advance technology, humanity was deemed not worth the effort. The offer was withdrawn. Unable to build spaceships capable of efficient interstellar travel and distracted by petty bickering and pop entertainment, humans eventually lost interest in the stars. Now, in 2032, amid an anti-science presidential administration and public apathy, scientists in an economically crippled America struggle to fund innovative projects. Now, this book is written by Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty. It's drawn by Rebecca Isaacs, colored by Kurt Michael Russell, and lettered by Crank. And here I'm going to show you guys just some of the art in here. Here's kind of where this is where the book opens up at. This is where we start off. So I mean, you can see right there, they're not wasting any time getting into this. I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit more here. I mean, this is, it's nothing too graphic, but you still see enough in there. Altogether, like I said, there's, obviously what the subject matter and what's going on here, it's not going to be for everybody. Obviously, this book is going to be a little lewd and things like that, and I'm okay with that. I don't really mind that. I thought this book was actually pretty good, pretty funny book. I can't wait to read the second issue to see how it is. Again, like it's just a fun book. It's just something very fun to read. And I was just at my LCS today, and I went ahead and I picked this one up right here, and this is Doctor Doom issue number 1. They still had a copy of it sitting there. I picked this up because I've heard a lot of people talking about this, saying that this issue was actually pretty good. It was actually a pretty good issue, and so I was kind of interested and wanted to see what that was all about. And this one, the writer on this is Christopher Cantwell. Let's see, the writer is Christopher Cantwell. The artist is Salvador LaRocca. The cover artist is Drew EFX, and the letterer is VC's Corey Petit, and the cover is by Acco. Again, that's a pretty cool cover, you know what I mean? Check out that cover right there. But I went ahead and picked this one up because I heard it was actually a pretty good book. Now, another thing is Christopher Cantwell. I wanted to read this as well because Christopher Cantwell is actually doing another series that I've been reading lately, and that's called Everything over on Dark Horse Comics. And I actually like what's going on in that book. It's been, I don't know, it's been pretty interesting. It's about this small town that has just got this new big box retailer, and it takes place in like 1980, 81. With this new big box retailer that sells everything. They have everything there. Opens up in this town. There's a lot of peculiar things happening in this town, and in a small town, peculiar things happen. People know stuff, and I don't know. It's been pretty interesting. But that's really all I've got as far as the comic books that I've got for the week. Now, I did do some reviews here on the channel. My X-Men videos. Guys, man, those X-Men videos have been doing absolutely phenomenal. People are really into those. Now, if you would, what would be awesome, if you'd like to support the channel here, there are some links down in the description where you can go and you can donate money to the channel either via Streamlabs directly, or you can even become a monthly Patreon supporter. And that's something that I've kind of been urging people to do. If I can get enough of you out there, as soon as I get monetized, I've been my subscribership has been growing. Just, I don't know, it's been like crazy. And again, that's thanks to you awesome people being here. But if you go there, you can become a monthly Patreon member. My whole goal is, by the time I hit 1,000 subscribers, to get at least 30% of you just donating at least $1 a month. That's my goal right now. And guys, I mean, we're doing pretty good. I've already got a handful of Patreon supporters. I want to thank all of those people for supporting Patreon. Now, I did put, if you are a Patreon supporter, I put a video up there for you guys to go check out to get some feedback of when I went to LA Comic-Con. Let me know what you guys think about that video. And again, thank you guys so much. If you would like to do that, again, there are links right down there in the description where you can go and become a Patreon supporter. Like I said, that would be really awesome. Again, but it's nothing that you have to do, because I'm going to be sitting here flapping my gums, hanging out with all of you awesome people in the first place. Like I said, at the beginning of the week, I think I just like hit 600. Now all of a sudden I'm at 630 or something, man. And that's, like I said, that's thanks to all you awesome people coming in here, tuning into the shows, watching the shows, hitting that thumbs up button. See that Hydra guy? I did it. Okay, now the Hydra thing, calling the people Hydra, I got that from this new channel that I've been following. Here on YouTube, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little while, because it was absolutely something I seen them doing on their channel, and I told them, I was like, oh man, like this channel is really great. You guys need more subscribers. I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. So yeah, guys, please. Thank you so much for anybody who is a Patreon supporter, anybody who wants to send direct donations through via Streamlabs. I do greatly appreciate that. It helps me put more things into the channel. Like the first thing I'm going to be getting is a bigger green screen so I can do some awesome, nicer kind of videos, just some different fun things that I want to have and do and have planned to use some of that money for. So thank you guys, and it would also, helps just with other things here on the channel. Again, I'm only a one-man band, and you guys supporting the channel in that way, I greatly appreciate. So again, thank you all so much. The links are right down there in the description. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of the show tonight. I'm not really exactly for sure what we're going to get into, but we're probably definitely going to be talking a lot more about some comics, and I'm going to go ahead and hop on my computer right now, and we'll get this show under the road. What's up, everybody? How you all doing? I see everybody is here in the house tonight. We got Tommy, James, Pop Culture PB. How you all doing tonight? Lonely Banter, Blasted or Stash It Comics. God, what was it I seen? I seen somewhere here in the chats you said, yeah, that was a hello splash page on that money shot. Yeah, it was. Like I said, that show, it's pretty funny. It's a pretty good book. Kind of cracks me up. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's certainly not for everybody, but you definitely got to have a sense of humor. It's definitely entertaining. I thought it was pretty good. And oh man, why is this thing telling me I'm dropping frames and stuff? Let me know if this thing is getting all choppy, guys. I don't know. OBS acting up again, man. I swear, dude. It's if it ain't one thing, it's another. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see. Mikey, how's it going? Mike L, how you doing, man? Let's see. Darth Wacko, Son of Mom 55. Hello, how you all doing today? Um, yeah, so it's been, I don't know, a pretty busy week. Like this time of year is a very busy time of year for me. I got my own business where I go to a lot of businesses around town and I sell snacks and all kinds of different stuff. So I go out there and that's what I do. Like I'm out there just, just kind of hustling every day, going and serving a bunch of customers that I have. So this time of year, it's Halloween right now, and then getting ready to go after that. It's going to be time for like gift baskets and things like that. So I'm going to be making gift baskets like crazy for the holidays. It's gonna, man, it's usually, man, it gets nuts. It gets nuts during the holidays. Absolutely crazy. So hopefully I'll be able to keep the content kind of regular there. So here throughout this time. So yeah, again, thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. Now let's go ahead and get into so a little bit more comic books. This book, this series right here, Blade Runner 2019. I've done some reviews on these on the channel already. I think I've done reviews for all of them, one through 3. So, and this is issue number 4. Now, this is the end. It's the end of the first arc of this particular series. And I got to tell you, I've really liked the series. Now, the only thing about this issue right here, I still haven't done a review on it, is this came out like not this week, but last week. I think it was the week before. It was the week before, and it seems rushed. It seems rushed. It seems like maybe they should have went for like another issue, made it 5 issues for the first story arc, because this issue seemed a little bit rushed. It still seemed good. It was good, and some cool things happened in it. Quite a bit happened in it actually, but it seemed a little bit rushed, which is kind of like the other series I was reading the other day that was called The Watcher. Right here, and I was talking about this the other day as well. This is on a 3-page miniseries on Zenoscope Comics, and it's about this house. It's like possessed, but it's like this girl. Her father is a preacher, and he's like all preacher-ish, and her mother ends up being a demon, and it's pretty crazy. And but this like it's only a 3 issue miniseries, and this third issue felt really rushed. It seems like a lot of it happened, just kind of jumped, and just I don't know, it just got a little bit crazy. Got a little bit crazy. Just it just seemed a little move a little bit fast through that third issue. So yeah, I don't know. Altogether, I mean, it wasn't terrible. The art in the book, I mean, it was pretty decent. But in the Blade Runner series, like I was saying, this fourth issue seems it seemed a little rushed. But again, it still has a lot of the beautiful art in there. And I got the what I got here is the Sid Mead variant on this one, because that Sid Mead variant, this is basically like concept art from the first Blade Runner movie, the original one. This was Sid Mead who did a lot of the concept art for Blade Runner. This is his artwork on these covers. So I tried to get as many of these as I can. I think I got 3 of the Sid Mead variants because I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, you got to think that's from this. What would that be, like the early '80s? Is that early '80s? Yeah, it was early '80s when Blade Runner came out. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But again, this fourth issue felt a little bit rushed. But issue number 5 is coming out next week or next month as well. Anyway, so probably here in about 2 more weeks that'll be coming out. So yeah, and that's been a very good one as well. Um, been choppy the whole show so far. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably OBS or something. I could stop it and do all of that stuff and reset it, and we could see how it goes. But then it's gonna kind of it takes you out of the story. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see. Is it just Tommy says? Is it just me, or do a lot of movie comics seem a bit off? I remember the Snake Plissken books seemed a bit off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they've I realize they've got to change things from comic books to fit a movie. I mean, to make it more interesting, like on screen or anything like that. I understand that. I mean, I get they've got to do stuff like that. But at the same time, I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with them changing it up a little bit, because I mean, really, a lot of stuff looks good on the page in the comic book, but then by the time you try to get that and translate that to screen, it's a little hard to do or ridiculous to do. You know what I mean? Like some of it's a little like like the Thanos copter. Does anybody really want? I mean, does anybody want to see the thing? I mean, it would be cool, right? It would be cool. But does anybody want to see the Thanos copter out there? I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know. It seems like a little silly thing, but hey, but again, I mean, a lot of people would still probably love it too at the same time. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's but yeah, I don't know. They all seem, that's and that brings up something I wanted to talk about that I seen recently. They were talking about this Bloodshot movie. They were talking about this today on the Campia show about Bloodshot and how if this movie does good, how it'll be a good thing. And obviously, anytime a comic book movie does good, it's good for all of this genre of movies altogether in the first place. So I honestly didn't even watch. I didn't even watch the trailer. I watched somebody's reaction to the trailer, and I seen it about that small on my phone. You know what I mean? It was all tiny. But yeah, then so I haven't even actually seen it, but I don't know. I mean, it's got Vin Diesel in it, right? That's should be successful. It should be good anyway. It'll get asses into seats having Vin Diesel in it in the first place. And I don't really know a whole lot about that character, which I think it's kind of funny because they did, I think, was it just a week earlier, released a new number one for Bloodshot, started like a new series or something. So that, I mean, that's kind of funny, but I mean, it's good anytime that any of these movies do good, but like they've got to be made good, and that's the ultimate thing, Like we see, you know, seen a whole lot of that talk lately with Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola going out there against all these movies and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, guys, calm down, man, because they're talking about it, so naturally everybody's gonna talk about it, and everybody wants to talk about it, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. Um, the guys are certainly entitled to their opinion. If they don't like the movies, hey, don't like the movies, cool, But it seems like they've gone out there and really tried, to actually talking trash about the movies. Like, come on, dude, like. I just don't get it. Like it's like all these movies can coexist. You know what I mean? all the movies can coexist. Like they have throughout the throughout time. All the movies have coexisted out there. Now, of course, when you get like smaller budget, more indie type movies, it's probably going to get on less screens. It might not even make it out into national theaters. Who knows? Whatever kind of film that gets put together and gets put out there. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about all the like people like Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, talking trash about the Marvel movies? Like, I like the Marvel movies. They're good. They're good movies. Now, are there things about them that, could certainly be better, certainly be changed and things like that? Yeah, certainly. Like the Black Widow movie is getting ready to come out here pretty soon. And I'm pretty pumped. I want to see that. But, is it really the Black Widow that we need to see? Is it? I just don't know that it is because I don't know. I don't know that they could make that movie, and I can't remember. I think it was on my morning, one of the morning movie chats the other day. We were talking about it would be great to see like a rated R version Punisher, Black Widow movie, maybe Winter Soldier all together in like a team up movie, like rated R. Because really, none of these characters can really truly be done justice in the MCU, keeping it like PG-13 because they're pretty crazy and pretty violent. Like even, like even in the movie so far, like all the Avengers movies and everything, the Black Widow's been in, she kicks ass and everything, but at the same time, I mean, she uses a lot of gadgets and that kinds of stuff too. But she's still out there kicking some ass. But obviously, she uses a lot more violence in the comic books, at least the ones that I've read anyway. So I mean, there's that right there, and like recently, been reading these right here. I even look at that. See that poster right there? I've been reading this series, the new Black Widow series. This one's being written by Jody Hauser, and it's okay. It's not too bad. I mean, but in 2 issues, like we haven't, I don't know, we haven't really gotten a whole lot yet, and I think this is only a 5 issue series. Like I want more, like give me more out of each issue. But basically, what she's going through and doing here is she's getting revenge on people who she's getting revenge on people who, when she was, young and being trained, who she was sent out to do bad things for, and so she's going out and trying to make amends with things, or trying to get some closure, I guess you could say, and that's what she's doing in these first 2 issues. And altogether, I mean, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot of action in them, and there's not really a whole lot of, I don't know. Like I feel like there should be a little bit more to it. Uh, but I have read each issue, and it keeps me. They've got me wanting to read the next issue, but that's just because like it's only a little 5 issue miniseries, so naturally I'm probably gonna hang in there for the full 5. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I mean, who knows? Maybe everything gets resolved and taken care of in the last issues, because but I don't know. Altogether, it's not been a bad series. It's not been a bad series at all. So I think the new one of that should be coming out probably in about another 2 weeks as well. Black Widow, again written by Jody Hauser. I don't know. Have you guys read Black Widow? Let me know down in the comments below. Um, okay, and let's see where we at here. Um, Second Story says, "You good? Don't worry, we can still hear." Okay, all right. So the audio is still doing good. The video is just choppy. Maybe I need to run the auto configuration again. I haven't done it in a while. Okay. Mike says, "Seeing your shirt, it makes me think about the Bloodshot trailer. That is nothing like the source material." Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't really know when it comes to Bloodshot. I don't know anything about the character or anything like that at all. So I would be like, I don't know anything about it. So and I got to go back and actually watch that trailer. And so apparently it's been getting some good feedback. But again, I don't really know much about it. But again, it's on Valiant Comics, and part of the discussion they were having on the Campia show was like, about that doing good. Is it being good? Being good for this genre of movies, which is a good thing, And that's what ultimately, I always just want to see a good film. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be in a whole universe or anything like that. I don't have that. That's not a prerequisite for me. I just want to see a good movie. Like look at I've talked about this movie a lot. Is the God, what was it, 2002 Punisher with Thomas Jane? That movie is that movie's fucking great. You know what I mean? And like Thomas Jane really does really good in the role. Now, at the very beginning, some of the little undercover stuff was a little bit, I don't know, it seemed a little bit cheeseball when I went back and watched it here a couple of months ago. I was like, it seems a little bit cheesy, but like pretty much everything else is great in that movie. Like, obviously, I mean, who doesn't know about the fight with the Russian, right? Come on. That was just great stuff right there. So, yeah, but again, I believe that movie is rated R. So I think a movie like a Punisher definitely has to be. I mean, he shoots and kills people with guns. They don't want to put that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They don't want to put that stuff in the Marvel. They're like, this is for families. Like, I mean, you're gonna show them shooting and you see bodies hitting the bodies hit the floor on in the at the end, like you don't get no blood or anything. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Punisher could actually work in a PG-13 no matter what. You know what I mean? Even that stuff, and maybe I need to go back and watch it again. Maybe you guys seen something I didn't in the Punisher series that I mean, they didn't even do Punisher justice there. You know what I mean in that series. So I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Um, but again, I like John Bernthal in the role though as well. I do like that. That's certainly something that's that's good. But I don't think they could do it. So I mean, they should do something separately. Like they're talking about Deadpool and how they're going to do that. Apparently, last we know, Bob Iger said they're going to do rated R Deadpool movies. So hey, if they're doing it, or was it? I think it was Alan Horn actually. If they're gonna do it, they said they're gonna do it. Are they gonna hold to it? What do you think? I don't know. I think you can do Deadpool PG-13. You can do him in PG-13 movies. You can do him in PG-13 movies. But now, as far as like a whole movie of his own solo movie being PG-13, I don't think that works so good. I don't think that works so good. Because you want that lewdness and the crudeness and and all that stuff in there, which is so funny because if you see like people talk a lot about the talk a lot about just everything that like that goes into these movies and like agendas and all that kinds of stuff. You can see that like they like if you think about it, Deadpool checks all the boxes and still keeps it entertaining and fun. You know why? Because it's just done right. They knew what they were doing when they were making that movie, when they were writing the script and all that kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Plus, I mean, you got Ryan Reynolds. Is that guy not just a great actor? He is, right? Is he not? I think he's a good actor anyway. But let's see. Dylan's comic book rants. What's up? How you doing? How you doing today, man? Let's see. Tommy says would love to see the Max on big screen. Love those books. Even the MTV show was good. I don't think I ever seen the Max. I don't think I ever seen the Max. Um, let's see. Tommy says I don't have a lot of books left, but they're great. Even the old Legion series. Oh, okay, all right. Snow Dub, what's up? Jenner check. Woo! All right. Coffee Breath says Martin Scorsese helped pitch Joker to DC. Yeah, and that's the odd thing too. Is like like was he trying to like bring some sort of attention to it or anything like that? I don't know. I mean, it seems a little odd. I mean, why are these guys going out there and doing that? Like, I guess it comes down to even when all these celebrities who get out there and start flapping their gums about politics and all that shit is, I don't give a fuck what you think about that. I don't give a shit what Martin Scorsese watches. Like you don't have to validate these movies for me or for anybody else. You don't have to try to invalidate them as well. You don't have to go out there and be a dick about it. Just you know, go out there, say you don't like them, and it's all good. It's all good. But you go out there, you be a dick, and it's like, all right, whatever. Have it your way, I guess. Have it your way. But at the same time, like Martin Scorsese is a great director, and in the first place. But again, not everybody likes his movies like I like them. You know what I mean? Francis Ford Coppola, the same thing. Not everybody likes his movies like I like them, but some people don't like them. So I mean, it's all subjective. That's the great thing about movies and about movies and films and all of those different things. Is just I mean, there's just something out there for everybody. You know what I mean? Same as these comic books, man. The comic books that I've been reading have been getting me back into horror and stuff like that. Because a lot of my I've been reading like on Vault Comics. They got this one that came out last month called The Plot. I did a review of that, and it was a good one. Like I don't know. It seems like there's probably like these people have this land, have this house that they probably had in their family for generations, and like they have like these monsters that look all like Swamp Thing, kind of like crazy. Like I don't know, it was pretty badass, but I don't know, it was pretty horrific. But that's something else also with like the comic book movies. Like I could see, what would be great is if like this Bloodshot movie does good, But I mean, obviously you always want them to do good anyway, and you want good movies out of them. But I could see like where some of these companies want to, make, try to start making these comic book movies. But again, I mean, you got to pick the right ones. You know what I mean? And take chances on some of the, obviously Disney has bought up a lot of IP considering they pretty much own everything Marvel but Spider Man and Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? So they have the monopoly on the Marvel comic characters, and and that's rightfully so. You know what I mean? That's okay. I don't see any problem with that because I think all those characters should be together. Now the thing is like balancing all of those movies and continuing to make good movies and pump out great content. That's going to be the hard part because you're going to have multiple at any one time. You're going to have multiple movies in various stages of production at the same time. And that's gonna be something that's not easy for them to do or maintain. So how long can they keep it up? You know what I mean? How long can they keep it up with trying to bring in new characters, trying to keep things fresh, and not getting some people who are basically doing these roles for half their life. You know what I mean? Maybe where they can go and do a handful of movies, and that's about it. Just every couple or few years, pop into this movie, do a little cameo really quick and whatnot. I mean, so I don't know. They haven't really done I don't know anything like completely terrible yet. Like they've had a couple of missteps here and there along the way, but overall, I mean, I think they've done pretty good. Kevin Feige's done a good job getting everything and maintaining everything there at Marvel Studios and just putting putting out for the most part quality movies. So I mean that's the good thing. Now the thing is, hopefully they get to a point like when James Gunn had gotten fired. I wasn't too concerned about that. You know what I mean? I wasn't too concerned about it because, I'm like, they need to, I mean, kind of what they've always done in the MCU is bring in fresh, new directors, people, and taking chances on smaller, more indie type directors, and they need to continue doing that. And taking chances with them, and maybe continue pushing the envelope, and that's why I think maybe, and this was something I was talking about the other day too, because like even Young Ripa did a video talking about the DC and Warner Brothers and what they could do over there with like Joker and doing some of these movies that are rated R, and it's not saying that all of them have to be, and that's something I highly agree with, is that they should continue making these movies. Uh, like I would say, make some of them rated R. You don't have to make all of them rated R. Make a couple of them rated R here and there. More for aimed towards the adults, like with the like with the Deadpool and just things like that. You know what I mean? Like go ahead, that's cool. Why not? You know, but you don't have to do all of them that way. I mean, you don't have to do rated R just to do rated R. You know what I mean? Because you certainly don't have to do that. Like, there's some stuff out there. Like, does Spider Man need to be rated R? I don't think Spider Man needs to be rated R whatsoever. Where some movies should be, like Punisher, like a Black Widow, like a Deadpool, and they could do standalone movies that are still within the same universe. So then you can, basically let your audiences know, like, hey, this isn't kid friendly. This is rated R. How hard would it be for Disney to do that, for Marvel Studios to do that? It wouldn't be hard at all. And I guarantee you, who knows? Maybe their investors will push for that and want that and be like, hey, we should, because look, maybe we'll just make. Maybe that's why they're wanting to do Deadpool and test the waters with their audiences to see what the feedback is. Maybe that's what they're wanting to do with Deadpool so they can get something out there. Now, the interesting thing was, apparently the other day they said that there's I'm not sure if it was a Facebook page or a Twitter page or something or whatnot, that had actually been active for the first time since like 2017 for Deadpool, which in short, they're thinking that could mean that they're getting ready to make an announcement for Deadpool very soon, because just I think a little over a week ago, Ryan Reynolds had posted a picture of himself being there at Marvel Studios, saying he was auditioning for the role of Tony Stark. So I don't know. I mean, if the right pitch, the right movie, rated R, if they do it, if they find that they can do it and be successful, I think, I mean, why wouldn't they do a movie like Punisher rated R? And like I said, you could always tie them into some of the other movies, and just you can do more kind of edited things with them within the confines of the movie, where you see less of their bloody violence and them just in their in battles they're helping out in whatever situation they could be in. But I don't know. That's if you ask me. Um, uh, let's see. Mike L says Deadpool movies need to be R, and if he's in the MCU movies, they can just tone him down, but keep him with some of his witty remarks that aren't too vulgar. Yeah, and I agree. Like, and that was something else they were talking about on the Campia show as well too. Is the fact that we've already had rated R Deadpool, and to go backwards just seems wrong. Where if we started off with PG-13 Deadpool and then got rated R and then went back, that would be a different thing. Now the thing is and you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about here, Mike, is that I've said they could do a Deadpool PG-13 in this universe. Now, it would be better for him to do his solo movies rated R, for one, definitely. But to tie him into the MCU, all they got to do is just watch Austin Powers. Look at everything that Mike Myers did in those movies, and those are PG-13 movies, the Austin Powers films. A lot of it is lewd, crude, and they just do a lot of clever edits for some of the things that they are talking about and referencing throughout the movie. And they just do it in, like crude humor, and it's just very funny and entertaining. So I think they could put Deadpool into the PG-13 movies. But I think they should have his standalone rated R thing, as well as like I said, I think that even for like Punisher, I think they should do the same thing for Punisher as well, because I don't see Punisher really being done justice being PG-13. It just, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. Like, Punisher has to be rated R too. I mean, he shoots people, like crazy, and they don't want to put all that gun violence in one of their PG-13 movies. But again, clever edits, you know. Tommy says Punisher paintballing criminals, right? Coffee Breath says I got to take my kid to a b-ball. Is that baseball or basketball? I don't know, man. Tournament tomorrow morning, and I need my beauty sleep. Later, guys. Take it easy, Coffee Breath. You have a good evening. And also, guys, something else I wanted to let you guys know. I was talking about let's see, where was it earlier? I was talking about United Comics. I was talking about Hydra telling me that you guys have to make sure to smash that like button. There's a guy over here from Hydra, right over here off to the side, threatening me, telling me to tell you guys to smash that like button. Okay. So I got that. I was watching this channel, United Comics Universe, and this is a channel that I found through Perry Comics. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Perry Comics. He does the Perry and the Lurkers. He goes in there. He does these live streams, and he basically lurks on other people. Like, he puts their videos on the screen, and while he's sitting there talking and commentating about him, he's off in the little corner and everything, and he's just going through different channels that just kind of showcasing different channels out there. He just like searches comics and then goes out there and finds what's out there and basically promotes other just comic book channels and everything. And it's a really addicting show. So you should check out Perry. Perry is very cool. But yeah, one of the channels that I got through there was United Comics Universe. And you guys, there is a link down in the description of this video for United Comics Universe, where you guys should go and check them out. Maybe subscribe to them. You can do that. If you're on your computer, you can click the little thing, there, and go to channel. You can click the link and go there, or you can click the little thing. Just however you got to do it, man. Just go there and subscribe to him, because he don't have that many subscribers, and he's got some great content. He's got some great content over there, so you guys should definitely go check that out. And again, that's United Comics Universe. But I think because he was he was in his video, and I gotta find a way to work that in. But he did it in his video, so I was like, dude, that's great. I gotta find a way to use that. Is that cool? And because he was talking about Hydra, taking things over, and the algorithm. So you got to make sure to smash that like button to help him out. And I was like, dude, that's so great. It's genius. United Comics Universe. You should go check that channel out. It's a link down there in the description. Another thing, there's another link down there in the description for you can go check out Rod the Rican. He's just a Rican and his comics. I left a link down there in the description as well. You guys should definitely go check his channel as well. He just hit 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, just like today. So congratulations, Rod the Rican. If there's anybody out there, Perry and the Lurkers, if you guys are out there, well, they're doing a live stream right now all together anyway, over on Perry Comics channel. So if you guys want, you guys can go over there and check that out as well. But there's Perry Comics, Rod the Rican, and God, who else did I see over there when I was on there? Edwin the Comic Jabroni was on there as well. Some very cool guys out there in the comic book community. Again, I left just a Rican in his comics. I left his link down there in the description as well, where you should go check him out, man. He just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I'm guessing probably pretty soon, as soon as he gets his watch time, if his watch time hours are up there and everything, you know what? And they probably are, man, because he does these really excellent live streams. He does 1 hour live streams, and he talks with other people out there in the comic book community. He has some of the different shows that he does. Like they do, I think, is it on Tuesday? They do Buy or Pass, talking about some of the comic books getting ready to come out on Wednesday. He does like a comic book shout out show. I think is that on Saturdays, and then he does one on Sundays, another live one as well. I was on one of his Sunday shows as well. Super cool channels, man. But Rod the Rican, he just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I told him what you got to do now is you got to wait till you get monetized and then do a big monetization stream, so then we can all send you a whole bunch of money, and Google will take 30% of it. That's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. But yeah, you should definitely go check out Rod the Rican. Sometimes, because he does these fun shows. And I know the Sunday show comes on at 1 o'clock my time here on the West Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, that's probably like 4 p.m. for you guys if you're out on the East Coast. Or check your local listings. See how I did that there? Because you can go subscribe to the channels, and you can hit the reminders, and it'll send you out those notifications. That's what you should do for my channel as well. You should go hit the notification bell, and make sure you give this video a like. Now, I also, again, want to say thank you to all the Patreon supporters, all who have chosen to become a monthly Patreon supporter with as little as $1 a month, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I've been putting some more content up there for them to view a little bit earlier stuff to get their input on and things like that. And pretty soon we're going to be getting a couple of different new things to use here on the channel and getting a bigger green screen thanks to these awesome people that you see right here going across the bottom of the screen right there. They were all been very generous, so if you guys wanted to go there, it'd be awesome. It'd be great if you did. It'd be awesome. I'd greatly appreciate that. Like I said, just $1 a month. It's just $1, right? It's just $1. But yeah, so again, those links are down there in the description as well. And yeah, I don't know. Again, I appreciate anybody that wants to help the channel in that way. But again, like I said, you guys aren't obligated to or anything like that. It's cool, because I'll be here flapping my gums anyway, because I'm a fucking nerd. And that's okay. And that's okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're all here. And let's see. Blaster Stash Comics said, "Did anybody see Once Upon a Deadpool the PG-13 cut? He used a beeper to cut the bad language." No, I didn't see that, but maybe I should go and try to find the maybe I should go and try to find that DVD out there and just buy it, check it out and whatnot. Because yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see it. I'll tell you that much. I'd like just to see how it is compared to you know to how the other movie, just see how it is. So yeah, but again, yeah, like Deadpool, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I think it's got to be like I'd say it has to be rated R. Like I said, so does the Punisher. Black Widow would be great rated R. Just some of those different characters, would be great rated R. Not and that's the beauty about like other comic books. When they go to do like a studio picks a different story to go out there and make a movie of, is other studios out there, smaller studios or whatnot, or even some of the other big ones, will let them make a rated R movie with it if it's the right movie. You know what I mean? So that's something that could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. And but yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, so that's one of the things, because Disney doesn't, they don't own everything. They just own most of the superheroes on Marvel. Warner Brothers, I think does Warner Brothers pretty much have the lockdown on everything DC? I could be wrong there. I mean, I think DC, Warner Brothers, they need to make some improvements over there, and hopefully it seems like we're in the makings of that right now. Supposedly the other day, Dwayne the Rock Johnson confirmed that they're going to be going into production for Black Adam in June of next year, something like that. So that's coming up. That's coming up relatively quick. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Are you ready for a Black Adam movie? I mean, and that was something else we were talking about. Like, can you imagine? Like, is Dwayne the Rock Johnson going to be a villain in a movie though? Like, he's Dwayne the Rock Johnson is a villain guy. He's got to be the good guy. Because he's the big star that's going to be putting the asses in the seats when they put this movie out, right? So I mean, do you want that? I mean, are they going to make, are they going to pull another Joker? Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know. What do you guys think? Um, Mike says WB does all have all the DC. All right, all right. Yeah, I kind of figured. I mean, because nobody else out there really does anything DC, and and Warner Brothers has been doing. I don't know. They must have owned a lot of that for a really long time. Because I remember back when I was growing up, like when the Batman movie was coming out, I used to get these catalogs in the mail, from Warner Brothers Studios, where you could get on there and you could order like the action figures, you could order posters, you could order just different things that they had there relating to the Warner Brothers movies, like Looney Tunes and Batman, just all the different things, all those different properties that they had, and so. I think maybe I ordered something from there one time. I saved up some allowance or something. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's but yeah, they Warner Brothers has been doing that for a long time, and that's the thing. Like right now, Marvel just has the upper hand because historically, Warner Brothers has actually done pretty good with their DC stuff. Now, I don't think Warner Brothers actually do the Superman movies back with Christopher Reeves. I don't know. Let's check that out. Um, because I've never really looked into that. I'm not sure if that'll even say on here. Um, I'm not really sure if that'll say on here if he what studio does that. Does it? I don't know. It doesn't say. Dang it. But I'm not sure if those original I guess they weren't even the original, but like the Christopher Reeve Supermans, I don't know if those were Warner Brothers or not. But certainly by the time they did Batman, Michael Keaton Batman in '89, I think they probably had it all pretty much locked down by then for sure. Um, Blaster Stash comic book says another Scorpion King plays plays good guy corrupted, right? Well, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, and they could do that. I mean, what would be so hard about that? That wouldn't be too bad, you know. Um, yeah, so yeah, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know much about Black Adam or anything, or most of that kind of stuff anyway. So when it comes to like most of those DC characters, I don't really know, and I don't know a whole lot of like Batman stories neither. I mean, I just for the most part know the character, know the situation, and all that kinds of stuff as well. So yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, all I really ever want is a good movie, and that's the thing. Like for me, like I try to get enjoyment out of all movies. Like like even the Daredevil movie. Yeah, the one with Ben Affleck. That was a pretty decent movie. I mean, for what it was, because like I said, those movies were. I mean, God, what was that? 2002, 2003. For those times, some of those movies, I mean, they did the best they could. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that bad. They put a lot into it. They put a lot of effort. It was decent. It was decent, and I think it was one of those things that was still some of the stepping stones to where we are at today with a lot of these movies and things like that. So, yeah. Um, Mike says the Reeves Superman was distributed by Warner Brothers. Okay, so they didn't. All right, so they distributed it, but they didn't. Yeah, I know what I know. There's a difference there with a lot of that stuff. I just don't know what exactly all that means. That means another studio probably produced it and everything. Kind of like Spider-Man in the MCU. Um, Sony owns Spider-Man, so they distribute the movies. They're the distributors of those movies, even though it's their character. But the like those rights for that all are in for Marvel Studios at that point for that stuff. I don't know. All that lawyer stuff, man. I don't know. I don't know. But speaking of Spider-Man, another thing, you guys, this one recently came out on trade paperback, right here. The Spider-Man life story. And this series right here, if you guys like Spider-Man, you guys should check this out. This is a really cool series, and let me show you each one of these here. It starts with Spider-Man life story, the '60s, you know, and this book is written by Chip Zdarsky. It's drawn by Mark Bagley. Um, let's see. All the names are there on the front. The writer is Chip Zdarsky. The penciler is Mark Bagley. The inker is John Dell. The color artist is Frank Diarmata. And it's lettered by VC's Travis Lanham. Okay, and pretty much you can see, look right there, you can see pretty much you got the helicopters there, like Vietnam era in the '60s and everything. You see Spider-Man there, and that's something that kind of plays in the story here as well. So, but again, like this book was really well written, and it's got some great art in it. Um, like right here, I'll show you some of the art there. Um, Check that out. It's got the just absolutely great art in it, and Chip Zdarsky wrote a great, very great tale here as well. I think it's 6 issues long, and it's available on trade paperback now, so you can go out there and get it. It's probably like $25. Might be $29. I don't know, but because each one of these issues I think was $4.99. Yeah, they were $5 each. So, um, yeah, you can see some of that there. Some of that art there. And basically, what's going on through the series is it's telling the story of Peter Parker as he ages naturally through life instead of kind of having that 10-year time scale that Marvel uses and whatnot. And then they have Spider-Man in the '70s, and this basically each one of these kind of has different villains and different things that he's dealing with here, and again, this one's going through the '70s where he's going just through some of the different struggles and everything there as well. Um, again, like you see, like a lot of the art is really well done in this series. Um, there's really good stuff. We can see, like right there, we're starting off in 1977. Um, Situations and things that have happened throughout Spider-Man's life as just throughout the comics, but telling it in different decades as kind of as he was aging and going through them. So it was pretty cool. Then we got like this one right here is the '80s right here, and I got all these originals. I'll probably go pick up the trade paperback one of these days. I don't know. Then we got the '90s right here. And again, like some of these are, like one of them, they had the Craven's Last Hunt stuff in here. Then later we see him here. This is, I said this one starts off in 1995. We see there, got an old looking Doc Ock, and you can see just they're kind of aging through life here. And this right here, I think there's Tony Stark and Peter Parker right there talking. Um, and yeah, so it's basically telling the story as he's aging through life, and it's pretty cool. Like the way it all ends up. Now the end of this, at the very end of the story, you can see like the very end of the story, which ended. There's the 2000s. There's the cover for the 2000s one, and then it ends in the 2010s. And it was really great seeing the story as it progressed. And I was sitting there like, man, I would like to see this type of thing done with more characters in here, because we actually see that he runs into Captain America. He's there talking to Tony Stark, and just some different people out there, kind of in the Marvel universe that he just runs into, just throughout the course of his life. J. Jonah Jameson is obviously pretty big in there. Craven is in there. Just a bunch of different characters that he's all dealt with in familiar situations, or in that we've seen just in the comics, as just throughout the years. So it was a really good one. And it was a six, like again I said, it was a 6 issue series as well. So there's 6 of them. 6 times 5 was at $35. I would imagine the trade paperback probably cost $30, because you usually only save a few bucks. And if these were $5 a piece, and there's 6 of them, that's yeah, $30. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. It might be 25. It might be 25, but I can tell you it's worth every penny, because the story is really good, and that just came out, I believe, just this week, on trade paperback. I think it's one that, if you guys want to read a good Spider-Man story, you should definitely go check out. And they should do this with more characters. Like, imagine, like even a Tony Stark one would be cool. An Captain America one would be great. Uh, Incredible Hulk. Who knows? Just different ones. I mean, I don't know, pretty good. But then again, I guess at some point, it's kind of like I don't know, like I guess it could get to be old, so you'd only have to pick a couple of characters. Plus, Chip Zdarsky probably don't want to write every single character, and he probably don't care that much about all of them. But it's a concept that could get other writers to do. You know what I mean? Bring somebody else to do a little mini series. Um, Mike says the production company of the Reeves Superman was Dovemead Films. Okay, and it was the guy, who was it that was like the producer? Wasn't it the Donners, Richard Donner, or is that the director? I can't remember. Can't remember. But yeah, I mean, yeah, great films, man. That was just good stuff. That was just good stuff. Remember those old Christopher Reeves movies, man? I grew up on those, man. I love those Christopher Reeves Supermans when I was a kid. And honestly, I'm one of those people out there that I actually like. I like the one that's the Henry Cavill Superman. That first one, Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was a pretty good movie. Hell, I own it. Yeah, yeah. I own most of them. The only ones I don't own is what was that? Suicide Squad, and I think there's another one I don't own as well, that I'll probably just go get them just to have in the collection. But I mean, I've got like Aquaman, Shazam. I thought Aquaman was a pretty good movie. It was just like fun. It was just a fun movie, but it was still action packed and still had a good story and stuff like that. Some of the things I really liked about it was they balanced the budget of that movie really good. They put enough into the effects to make it good enough and passable, in this day and age, and they still had other spots where it was still really well produced, where you could tell they didn't put as much into production doing some of the shooting. So I think that, I don't know. I think they did a really good, and I've talked a lot about that, about James Wan and how he did there, balancing the budget along with throughout the production of the film. And you can see it in different spots, just how, and where you can see in some of the spots where they spent more money, and some of the spots where they spent less, and all for good reason, and it all worked out. And I think a lot of the same stuff is kind of true of Shazam as well, if you think about it. They did a lot of realistic, like practical kind of things in the movie, and also did CG stuff in there as well. They put plenty of that in there, but they still did a lot more like small down to earth stuff. So they didn't have to go out and I don't know where you're sitting there just shooting on a bunch of green screen. Although they probably shot plenty of stuff on green screen as well. It's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch the behind the scenes on those. Mike L says Donner was the director, Pierre Spengler was the producer. Okay, all right. Curtis YZ, what's up? How you doing, Curtis? Whew, all right. So yeah, again, that's another series. Like I said, that came out on trade paperback just the other day. I believe it was just this Wednesday. It was Spider-Man Life Story. Again, a great series. One you should definitely check out. One that I still need to read and do a review on is this one right here. I'm not sure if they're coming out with another one of these, if this was a one shot or what, but it's just Napoleon Dynamite comic book. Let's see, it doesn't say on there. It just says issue 1. So I'm not sure if it's a one shot or what. I don't remember it saying in there neither. So who knows? We'll see if we eventually get another Napoleon Dynamite, or did it get canceled after one issue? I don't know. I've got if you for my Patreon supporters, I just dropped a video over there where I was showing off some of the I did a vlog for the LA Comic Con, and I want them to check it out and put it out there for them to see early, kind of most of the raw edit and everything, and let me know like kind of how, because I didn't edit too much in it, and getting their input about you know what they think about it. If because I wanted to put a different like cut intro, break out the camera, do a nice little intro, maybe do some stuff in between, or if it just works better. Because I mean, just with the footage I have in there, it's already like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like 26 minutes anyway. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, some of the stuff I picked up there is these books right here. Dead End Kids, issue 1, 2, and 3. Oh, maybe I could. Yeah, there. That works. Issue 1, 2, and 3 there. And I got, you can see, I think it was the writer there signed the front of them. So yeah, give these a read and check those out as well. Um, here's another one that I picked while I was picked up at the LA Comic Con as well, and and I left some links down in the description here as well, where you can go and check out Pocket Jacks Comics. Preston Poulter is a writer. He's writing this series right here, which is White Lily, and he's doing it. You can go and check it out through like Kickstarter. He probably still has some of these issues up there on like Backer Kit and stuff. And when I was there, I went ahead. I seen him at Comic Con. I went ahead and picked up issue 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 on physical copies of them there, because I had already ordered issue 3, and so I have that copy already that I had ordered and got in. I don't know, maybe about a month ago, a little over a month ago, month and a half ago. And then he had this right here. He had issue number 4 there, which this one isn't really out yet. He had some advanced copies printed to for the Comic Cons that he was going out and doing for his little tour he was doing. And so I went ahead and got one of these issue number 4s. I'll probably go ahead, because he has like on the Kickstarter, and you can go to his channel over there and check out his videos. Subscribe to him if you like what he does. He does some commentary on comics and just other different things out there in the world. But just going on out there in like the Twitterverse and everything, pretty good stuff. But yeah, so I was thinking about but I left that I was thinking about getting like waiting, back in issue number 5. I was thinking about maybe back in this one too, so I can get an actual, because it'll be different, the other one, because when the actual issue is released through Kickstarter, it's going to have a thank you page in there, and they'll have different people that back the book at whatever various levels to get in there on the thank you page on there. So it'll be a little bit different, and who knows, will there be anything else in it different? Yeah, I don't know, But yeah, so I went ahead and picked those up, and there'll be one more issue coming out after this. Again, I've got to give these a read. I've read issue number 1, but I got to give these a read, and I'll bring you guys a review on those probably before issue number 5 comes out. All right, and before a lot of people will have their hands on issue number 4 as well. So but yeah, it's again, it's about these female fighter pilots in World War II, how they were out there. A lot of them were used for training and simulations and stuff like that. Going out there flying with the guys, but weren't allowed to actually go out and fight. And eventually, when it comes down to war, eventually at some point they're going to break down and get into it. But that was kind of where we got into at the end of issue number 1 on White Lily. Because I did read the first one on that, but the other one that I got there, this is the one I was wanting to check out too as well, and I'm glad he had that there. That's Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, and so I want to give this one a read. I'm not exactly for sure what it's about, but I heard him talking about it on Young Rip's channel as well. Uh, Eric Eric was there talking to him about it, and he was kind of talking about it. I'm like, huh, that sounds kind of interesting. I can't remember, like right now what it was all about, but yeah, it sounded pretty good. So I'm like, all right, well, he had it there, had a copy of it, so I was like, hey, let's get it. Let's pick that up. So yeah, like I said, there was a video that I just did where for my Patreon supporters, where they can go and watch that video early and give me some feedback about what they thought about that. Like I said, it only takes a buck. It only takes a buck. You know. Let's see. Says Curtis YZ says, love that cover. Oh, from the Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. Yeah, yeah, certainly. Um, Mike says, well, I got to get going. I'll definitely try to catch more of your shows when I'm able. Well, hey, yeah, thanks a lot, Mike, and appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here, and thank all of you for being here. I greatly appreciate all of you showing up here to set me here and watch me flap my gums. You know what I mean? I just go on and on about stuff sometimes. And so anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's really some more of the comic book stuff that I got. And did you guys check out my video when I did the unboxing of all the Aftershock comics that I did? Did you watch that video? You should go check it out. I can't wait to get into some of those books. I want to get caught up on some of my Marvel books and do some more reviews and do some just talking about those because I've been largely holding off on that because I'm like, dude, like I'll do reviews on some of the bigger comic books because not everybody is looking for a review of Arrow. You know what I mean? When I do those ones, I mean, they're low reviews, which I need to get those out there too because like Arrow has been a pretty good series. I've actually liked that series. It's been pretty good. Same with Swordmaster. He's kind of covered up there. You can see it there in the back. Swordmaster, that's actually been a pretty good series as well. And same with that one right there. Savage Avengers. Savage Avengers has been pretty good. Jerry Dugan writing that one. Symbiote Spider-Man was pretty good, written by Peter David. Black Cat, I think I'm 2 issues back on Black Cat, but the first 3 issues they were pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So I plan on doing some more of those in like like do like 2 3 issues at a time instead of just one. Cause I don't know. But what do you guys think? I mean, you think I should just do them one at a time? I don't know. I think it just kind of depends on what book it is. I guess really. But yeah, I can't wait to get into some of those Aftershock comics and read some of those because they're one of the smaller press publishers that I've kind of been getting into some of their books as well. Like, and somebody else was telling me another one that they've been putting out that I should check out is called Midnight Vistas. And they're 2 issues in on that one. And I know issue 2 came out like last week or the week before. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll check that out. I don't know. Maybe we'll check that out and see how it is. And I think Juan Doe is the guy who did the art in it. And he's the guy who's doing Bad Reception, which I've been reading, which is also on Aftershock Comics as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I need to do reviews of all of it. I also got like all kinds of old comic books as well that I've got. Just here in my box that I had since I was a kid. Got some Captain Americas down there, some Web of Spider-Man, some Amazing Spider-Man. I've got this. Oh man, God, it's like a Ghost Rider and Knight Rider, something like that. Book. I've got this What If Conan and Thor fought. Yeah, from like man, it's probably from the 80s. Yeah, got that. I've got an original Incredible Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. I do have a copy of that. It's not in great condition by any means, but yeah, I got that. I got some of the Web of Spider-Man, which was apparently the issues I have are like right before or right after Kraven's Last Hunt. That whole event and everything kind of went down. I'm in those few issues. So I'm like, dang, like I remember getting those comics when I was a kid too, the Web of Spider-Man issues. But yeah, I need to go through and maybe I need to pull some of those older ones out and give them a read and do some reviews on those, some retro reviews. Because a lot of them, like even the Captain America ones I got, like the Thor ones I got, I've got some Fantastic Fours. Those all like they're all in like kind of in sequence, like a 218, a 219, they're just like that. I'm just putting numbers out there. But they're like a lot of them are in the same sequence. Like some of the Spider Ham comics, I think I got like 3 issues of the Spider Ham comics from when I was a kid as well. I remember, like I said, I mean, I probably hadn't read comic books since like the early 90s, the last time I read any. So, I've been getting back into that. I've been really enjoying it, you know what I mean? Just there's a whole the whole landscape has kind of shifted since then. I mean, like you get all these indie books. I'm sure there's probably always indie books out there and stuff like that anyway. But a lot of these characters and everything have changed kind of a bit through the years. Um, and we're not like in the golden age of comics anymore. But there's still some great stories out there. There's some great stories that are going on, some decent books, and like I said, the one of them that was really good was that House of X and Powers of X that Jonathan Hickman was doing, and now he's doing the X-Men and doing another one of these series as well. They've been pretty good. And Marauders that just came out this week. If you guys didn't check out my Marauders video, you should go check that out as well. you know, go check that out as well. But I did a review of that, and that's about. It was actually a pretty good one. Like when I first read it, I was like, it's okay, it's an okay issue. But then as I kind of sat there and thought about it more, I was sitting there thinking like, maybe I'm underestimating it because I think it is a little bit better than I'm letting on. Because just like what the setup and the story is, it's just kind of interesting because what's happening is like Kitty Pryde or Kate is going out and bringing mutants back to Krakoa who can't get through the Krakoan gates because some countries who agreed to recognize Krakoa as a nation, well, they allowed these portals, to these gateways to be put in their country, but they're not letting their people access them. So the gate's there. Hey, we let you put the gate there, but people can't come through these gates, and it's going on all over the place. And that's kind of what Kitty Pryde and this group of heroes is going to be doing, going out there and getting people in these countries who want to come to Krakoa because if they are mutants, they have sovereignty. They're allowed to be they're supposed to be allowed to freely travel to Krakoa, and so yeah, it was kind of interesting. But some of the people that's in that book, like, is obviously part of the Marauders here, along with Kate Pride, is Iceman, Storm. We see Logan, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be an actual part of the team or not. I mean, he was listed in the front of the book, but who knows? And they may have just different cameos by some people. But Logan made an appearance in the book, which was actually it was actually really funny, the appearance that he did. But also in this Marauders issue, and I don't know. I think I already put it away. Yeah, I think I already put it away. But yeah, the Marauders issue is it was pretty good because there's even like this scene where they go to Russia, and there's like this like kind of souped up, kind of looking Iron Man suit that they have there in Russia that's protecting one of the gates, keeping people from going in or out of it, through it at all. And Iceman goes in there and he gets in this situation and ends up getting blasted by this thing, and he loses his powers. And that's what this suit does. It basically makes the mutants like lose their powers or whatnot, or nullifies them for a little while. And so he walks through the gate and he gets blasted and he's like, "Whoa, crap!" And and he you know goes right back through the gate, goes back to Krakoa, and so eventually what they do instead of traveling through the gate, we see the team of heroes. They travel there by boat and go and confront these guys. And Kitty Pryde, man, like she kicks some ass. She does a good job kicking some ass in the book, and she did a good job. It made her look pretty badass. It made her look pretty badass. But she was one of the mutants. She couldn't go through the gates of Krakoa anyway because Krakoa wouldn't let her. Now there are different theories as to why that is, but I honestly don't know why. I know one of my viewers had been talking about. I think his name is Conspiracy Theorist, was talking about that is like Krakoa is somewhat kind of like it was infected by this thing that I think Cypher had put in there and may not let some of the mutants through there. But to me, it makes me kind of wonder, like, what? So is Kitty Pryde not a mutant then, or is there's like what's the deal there? Why can't she get through the gates? There's something fishy behind that. You know what I mean? There's something fishy there. And towards the back of the book, they got these little like gossip from guys Bar Sinister, like this little gossip column where then they got like Sinister Secrets 11 through 14 or something like that, where they've had some of these other Bar Sinister secrets in throughout the House of X and Powers of X series, talking about things, and they kind of, some of them they kind of put in like a little like a riddle or a limerick or something, different things alluding to different stuff. It's weird how it's worded, but it's pertaining to the situation that's going on here. And it kind of makes me wonder, because one of the things we still haven't found out is that third seat on the council, uh, that basically has the Hellfire Club in there, has Emma Frost, and oh god, I can't even remember the other character's name right now off the top of my head. But they're in there on the council of the Krakoan Council. That third seat still isn't in there, and it's called, we just know that it's the Red King. Whoever the Red King is, we don't know who that is yet. So I don't know. It's just some interesting stuff. Just some interesting stuff going on in that book. Again, it was a good setup to the series, but again, like I'm not sure is the series, if the series is going to continue to be good, or if it's really, if just it was like a good setup to make you want to get into that story. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll know soon enough. I guess we'll know soon enough. Um, and yeah, so next week we'll be releasing another issue out of the spin-off of the House of X and Powers of X. I'm not sure which one is coming up this week. I think is it Excalibur that's coming out this week? And so I guess we'll see. And maybe that's the other one Jonathan Hickman is doing. I don't know. So we'll see how that is. Regardless, I'll be doing a review on that here very soon. Like I said earlier in the video, if you guys weren't here earlier, those X-Men reviews, like those reviews have been doing really good, man. Been getting me some great views, getting me some good traction and stuff, and that's awesome. I appreciate everybody that comes here to, like I said, to watch me flap my gums, um, about anything really. So anyway, yeah, and guys, I guess that's really all I've got for this evening. I want to try to cut the show a little bit shorter. I want to get some comic books read. I want to go in here and hang out with my family, see if they're even still awake. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday, so me and the kids on Thursday we sat down and made some cupcakes for her, and we went and decorated them and everything. It was a good time. It was a good time. The kids like doing that kind of stuff. They like helping out, and pretty much the kids did most of the stuff. Like I got them all the ingredients, and they mixed it. They mixed the cake mix. They put the cake mixes in the little cups to fill them up so we could bake them. And then they actually even made the icing as well. So I don't know. I'm telling you, you got that's one thing you got to do. You got to teach your kids stuff. If you're a parent out there, you plan on being a parent or anything, like make sure you teach your kids. You know what I mean? Make sure you teach your kids. For one, make sure make sure they're loved. Make sure you love your kids, but also teach them right from wrong, and teach them little things that they can do out there to make them better people in the world, more able to survive in the world. Teach them how to change a tire on their car. Teach them how to change the oil. Teach them how to do all of these different things on their car themselves, so they don't have to always rely on somebody else, or just in case you end up somewhere in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, and you need something, that you're able to possibly take care of that and handle that situation. You know what I mean? Because some people don't know how to change their tire if they got a flat tire. You know what I mean? They don't know how to jack it up and put the spare on there and do all that. Because I mean, it's easy. It's easy, but you still got to be told what to do, and that's the same thing. Like I said, my kids, they like to help out. So like I said, on Thursday we went ahead and made some cupcakes. We decorated them, everything. We put two different icings on there. We used, I think it was like blue and purple. Did some little swirlies on there. It was cool. I didn't do a video on it this time. Maybe I should have done a live stream and showed you guys my cute kids making cupcakes. Dang it. I guess we'll do that next time. But yeah, that's all I've got for the Trailer Park Live tonight, folks. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Like I said, I'm going to get some more videos shot over this weekend. Hopefully get some more reviews up here on the channel very soon. Again, I've got some more videos, some more footage of things that I want to put out there as well. Like I said, in case you guys weren't around, a while back, I got to go see, I got to see a few movies that went and seen at the theater. Fathom Events thing of The Three from Hell. It's out on DVD now. You can go check it out. I got to go see Rabid, which is a remake of a Cronenberg flick from the 70s. I got to go see that. And that's one that's not going to be out in theaters anyway until I think like December 13th is the next time that any of you guys might be able to see it, unless you're on any of these the tours, that like some of these horror fest tours that are going on right now, because I know the Soska sisters have been very busy going around doing all these things where this movie has been premiering. And at LA, the one I went to was the North American premiere of the movie, and they're out on tour right now doing all that. So you probably won't get to see it till about the middle of December. So, but I'll tell you guys, when it comes to a theater near you, and if it does, you should definitely go see it. I thought it was a really great movie. And Jay and Silent Bob, I still got to do that review as well. So, like I said, it's really a time issue right now. So, just with everything, like I said, with my business, my kids, the family, and everything like that. So, that's all I have for tonight's show, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. I do greatly appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for coming here to hang out with me, watch me flap my gums, talking about just stuff I'm not an expert on. I won't ever claim to be an expert on something. I mean, but if there's something I know about, I'll talk about it. And I'll let you know what I'll share my feelings on anything the best I know how of, to the best of my opinions and stuff like that. Like right now, we got that new Star Wars trailer just came out. Everybody's like all pumped, or are they? Are they all pumped? I don't know. You tell me. Are you ready for Star Wars? Are you ready for the Rise of Skywalker? I don't know. I can't wait to go see it at the theater. I need to buy some tickets. I need to get some tickets. I think they already went on sale, but I don't know. I know we're gonna be going out of town around that time too. So, oof, out of town. What am I gonna do for my shows, man? Oh, I might have to take a vacation from YouTube. Oh man, wouldn't that be a shame? Actually, it kind of would be. Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight's video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, make sure you hit that, smash that like button, or give me a dislike. It's all good. Make sure you share this video with your friends. Like I said, my 1 year anniversary is coming up very soon. That's coming up on November 29th. We're gonna probably do a big old live stream, and maybe I've got something I'm gonna be giving away. I'll be having some more details on that coming very soon. So make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. And yeah, make sure you want those notifications on so you know when I'm going to go live. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.